This is one of the most famous, and some would argue best, sandwiches in all of Italy. This panino is a mortadella sandwich. It's made with very good bread, very good mortadella, and maybe, if you feel like it, a little bit of lemon juice. That is it. It's amazing, it's delicious, but this is also the reason why we very rarely, if ever, make videos about panini. A lot of people ask us for more Italian panini recipes, and the problem is that most Italian sandwiches are ridiculously simple. They're like this. Nobody needs a video telling you how to put prosciutto and some slices of pecorino on 2 pieces of bread. No one needs that. So we largely avoid the topic, but Eva tells me that there are some sandwiches in Italy that, how should I put it, require a little bit more effort, a little bit more time, but she assures me that it's worth it. She's gotta make 3 of them though today, so we better get started right after a bite from this sandwich.
The real secret to the Italian panini is not the panini press. And actually, I don't know where this is from, because in Italy we don't use to make panini the panini press. The real secret of Italian panini is the bread. And we start with our first panino, making a bread that is from Puglia. And for this bread we need semolina flour, bread flour, salt, yeast, olive oil and water. I start to add a little bit of water. I don't use all the water in one time because the semolina flour, it takes a little bit longer to absorb the water. Now is the moment of some salt. I add all the rest of the water, so in this way the salt also melts with the water. And after all the flour is incorporated in the dough, is the moment of the olive oil. With a little bit of patience, because this will take maybe a little bit of time, we incorporate the olive oil in our dough. Now the question is, can you do this with a mixer, stand mixer? Yes, you can do. Well, come on, it's much better to do by hands because it gives you more satisfaction. When the dough is not sticky anymore and is smooth, is beautiful, because this dough looks beautiful, you understand that it's done. Now we transfer back it in the bowl, we cover and we let it rise for about 3 hours, 3 hours and a half. The timing of rising depends always on the temperature in your home. Think that it needs to at least double in size. Now I'm going to divide this long snake.
It will be a snack eventually.
It will be a snake. By the way, this long piece of dough in a small bowl of about 100 grams each.
Well done.
I know. If it will be 90 or 110, it's not a problem. But let's try to make in between this number. So now we need to form like small ball. It's the same when we make the pizza. At the end, this is more or less the same dough. And now, after we cover them, we let them rise for about 30-40 minutes.
A little later.
Now that those are Raisin, rice,
Risen?
reason. What we need to do is to cook them. We need a very high temperature, which means 485 degrees Fahrenheit. That is more or less 250 degrees Celsius. Then we need also a pizza stone or a pizza still. They need to be very, very hot, which means that you need to put in the oven at least 45 minutes, 1 hour before. Now we need to spread our panini. After we spread, we need to cook it. And we are going to cook them one at a time because the pizza stone is not big. And we will cook them for about 6-10 minutes. It depends most from the oven. Okay, maybe don't use your hands like I did. And now is the moment in which we need something to stuff our sandwich, our panini. We will stuff with one of the most classical combination of the southern Italian food, which means broccoli rabe and sausages. I'm going to cook the broccoli rabe in a very easy and traditional southern Italian style, which means with some olive oil, garlic, chili pepper, be sure that it's spicy. When the sausages are not pink anymore, we add a little bit of white wine and we let them cook until the wine completely evaporates and the sausages are more or less completely cooked, which means at least 15 minutes. Our sausages are more or less cooked through, so what I'm going to do is add the broccoli rabe to our sausage and let them cook for about 5-10 minutes.
Whoa, it is hollow inside.
Yes, Harper, that's why this kind of panino is stuffed with something heavy, filling, because it's meant for this. You see why it's empty? It's like, because now it's full. Believe me, now it's full.
I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little bit nervous about cutting this. That is a sandwich.
That is a sandwich, and this sandwich has a name. This is called Puccia Pugliese. Puccia Salentina, Puccia Pugliese. Puccia is the kind of bread that it was made for this purpose. It's empty because you need to stuff. So this is not the kind of bread that you stuff with, I don't know, prosciutto or mortadella. No, you stuff with
You stuff with this.
You stuff with broccoli salsiccia, you can stuff this with meatball, you stuff this with octopus, you stuff with this with, I don't know, mozzarella, tomatoes, and it's stuffing that you can peel.
You guys might have seen Ava cook sausage and broccoli rabe on the channel before. If you've never had that combination, it is amazing. Quick recap, something just really magical happens when you cook very fatty sausages with broccoli rabe. It's just one of my favorite flavor combinations ever, so having it in sandwich form is pretty appealing to me.
So, Harper,
shall we dig into this monster sandwich? Ooh, I can already see that the broccoli rabe juices, which are full of the sausage fat, which is the best part, are like soaking into the bread. Okay, all right.
Buon appetito.
Bon appetito. The sausage and broccoli rabe is already one of my personal favorite dishes of all time. In sandwich form, I'm here for it.
This kind of bread is really amazing.
I'm in love. I'm in love.
It's easy to be in love with something like that.
Really?
Before I regret of what I'm doing.
Thank you, Ava.
Prego, Harper.
Well, I could eat like 5 more of these, so I hope you have some more incredible sandwiches to show me.
Actually, Harper, I have another very interesting sandwich that this time can please all the kinds of eater out there. The second panino, the bread for the panino, is from Sicily. It's a very simple dough, and we're going to use semolina flour, water, salt and yeast. As I said, it's very simple, even if at the end the final product will look a little bit more complicated, but as you can see, it's simple. This dough, it is very sticky at the beginning, but don't give up and don't worry. We let it rest for 2 hours and a half, 3 hours. Same rule, it depends from the temperature. Like we did with the Pucce Pugliese, Pucce Salentine, we need to make a small ball of 100 grams, more or less. And now is the moment in which we can shape our, let's call it Sicilian bread. We need to make a snake, a long snake. And then we need to try to make, let's say, S. Something like that. With this piece, we are going to close. And this is the shape of our bread. It's important that you sprinkle some flour on the top of your bread. This will avoid our plastic paper to attach when we cover them. And now we need to wait, in this case, for about 45 minutes, 60 minutes.
1 hour later.
This is what they look like after they risen. We need to decorate them. We need to brush them with water and then add the sesame seeds. And now we bake them at 390 degrees Fahrenheit, that is more or less 200 degrees Celsius, for about 20 minutes. A Sicilian bread requires a Sicilian stuffing. And what I'm going to do for this panino is a sort of polenta, but instead of using corn flour, I'm going to use chickpea flour. It's very important with this kind of polenta that you keep stirring because we don't want clumps. Now we add black pepper, a little bit, some fresh parsley, and we transfer our chickpea polenta in a container. You can choose all to spread on a baking sheet, for example, or using something like that. We need that this polenta will completely cool down. We are not done with our chickpea polenta because now is the moment in which we need to fry them.
Once again, here we are with a sandwich where the filling I'm quite familiar with, and it also makes me very excited, but I have never ever seen this bread.
This bread is called Mafalda. It's an all semolina bread because most of the bread in Sicily is just semolina flour. In Sicily, their bread usually is always topped with sesame seed. This is the famous pane e panelle. We miss an ingredient here. And the ingredient is cazzilli. Cazzilli is a croquet, potato croquet.
Fried potatoes?
Sì.
So they normally make this with the fried panelle and fried potatoes?
Sì.
You guys are some crazy...
Sì, they add chickpeas, bread and potatoes. Yes, that is the traditional one. But it's also real that you can decide, even in Sicily, to choose just the light version with panelle and bread.
Well, panelle is one of just my favorite discoveries. It's incredibly surprising, and I will explain why after I take a bite. There's our panelle.
Buon appetito! There is something magic. As broccoli, Rabe, sausage and Puccia, they were born to be together. Mafalda and panelle, they are born to be together.
The chickpea polenta, it's just chickpeas. But when you cook it like that, let it solidify, and then fry it, it becomes as like crispy and satisfying and amazing as like a fried chicken sandwich. It is so good. Totally vegetarian, totally vegan, and if you love meat, you will still like this thing.
In its simplicity, it's amazing.
You don't know how many times Ava and I have thought to ourselves, like, we should just like start a food truck and just serve panelle. It would be a massive success. We're not going to because doing our weekly videos keeps us pretty busy, but if anyone wants to steal our idea, we'd be happy because it'd be awesome to be able to just go out on a street corner and buy panelle. All right, I know that these sandwiches today take some effort, but what do you say? You up for one more? You have the energy?
I have always the energy to cook something from this place.
This one looks a little bit more complicated.
Yes, because it's from Naples.
So
in Naples, they use a lot of ingredients, but it seems complicated, but it isn't. We are going to use two kinds of flour, which means bread flour and an high gluten flour. An high gluten flour, remember, is a flour that has a higher content of protein, which means at least 14% of protein. Because this is from Naples, we are going to use, obviously, lard, a little bit of sugar, yeast, black pepper, salt, and water.
I noticed you're using the stand mixer bowl. For this one, are you using the stand mixer?
I was tempted, but no, we will do by hands.
We could do a whole video on Neapolitan dough that involves pepper and lard.
Come on, it's pretty good. It's like...
It's amazing.
This one needs to rise for 3 hours. 3 hours and a half. What we need to do now is use a little bit more flour and form out of this dough a rectangular using a mortadella. This panino is a little bit different because it's not bread and then you stuff the bread, but the bread is already stuffed. So I'm going to stuff this with salame piccante, cheese. I'm using a fontina, but feel free to use Asiago, provola, no mozzarella because it's too wet. I'm going to use pecorino, what we call prosciutto cotto, which in America is ham, hard-boiled eggs, but also feel free, for example, to substitute the prosciutto cotto with, I don't know, bacon, or if you like more mortadella. You can play with your stuffing. And last but not least, grated pecorino if it's snowing pecorino. And now we need to roll it. Harper, do you think that this is enough for us? Where this is from, you can find this kind of panino, smaller or bigger, so it's more or less up to you.
Oh my gosh, that's gonna be good.
We transfer them on a baking tray with parchment paper. We don't cover this and we let them rest for about 1 hour, 45 minutes, 1 hour.
1 hour later.
Now they are risen, so they are ready to be cooked. But before, we need to brush them with some egg, so they will become very golden.
Some more egg, just to clarify. In addition to the egg you've already spread on.
We bake them at 410 degrees Fahrenheit, that it should be around 210, 220 degrees Celsius for about 15-20 minutes. But we can understand because they become very golden, beautiful, shining. I will show you.
Oh, ho, 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 ho. Oh, yes. I have seen these about 1,000,000 times in shop windows in Naples, but I've never tried one yet, so I'm very excited. But that's kind of what Naples is like. You could spend a lifetime there and not try everything.
This is called, hear me out, Harper,
Okay.
Panino Napoletano.
Neapolitan sandwich. Okay, makes
They
sense.
call this Panino Napoletano. The others, they had a name. This is Panino Napoletano.
That's good. That means that this is the one.
This
is the panino.
And I'm so sorry, have you ever in doubt? As you said, walking through the streets of Naples, you see them everywhere because it's one of the traditional street food of Napoli.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Harper.
Buon appetito. Okay. Hats off.
It's like,
It really, like, this little thing kind of sums up Naples. You know what I mean? It has almost everything.
it's intense, it's good, it's satisfying, it's peppery, it's fatty.
There is pizza in here. There is taralli in here. There's, what is it? Pizza canna in here. It's like so many things wrapped into one.
There is all the deliciousness that Napoli always offers to every person that can go there.
You have had a marathon day because not only did you make a sandwich that takes time and effort, you made 3 sandwiches. I think you've been cooking since what, 6 this morning? So considering the fact that you put the effort in, you gotta be the final judge. Is it worth the effort?
All my life. I'm ready to start tomorrow. tomorrow again. It's like, it's a very stupid question, Harper.
We hope you guys agree, and we hope you try at least one of these sandwich recipes, which you can find down in the link in the description below. While we're on the subject of bread, a quick shout out to a pasta grammarian who definitely put some effort into friselle.
They look amazing, and it's like one of, how do you say, a jewel of the Italian bread contest situation. Wonderful heaven of goodness. I know, I love bread.
We've got a whole video about friselle up here somewhere. If you try any of these sandwich recipes, then tag us on Instagram or Facebook at Pasta Grammar. Give this video a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. We'll see you guys next time. Ciao.
Ciao.
We're gonna fight over that?
No, Harper, I have a tray full of it.
Oh, good, I can have this one.